We are going to be identifying main ideas across a text. Joshua, would you read paragraph 1, please?
In the spring of 1879, Jerry Shores, a former enslaved person, moved his family
Westward, that's very good.
westward. They joined one of the first immigrant wagon trains to Nebraska.
Very good. Major, can you look in the right margin? There are vocabulary words. Can you give us the name of that vocabulary word?
Immigrant, a person who leaves one country or place to live in another.
Can you give us an example in your own words? What is an immigrant?
So, say someone moved from their house just to move to a new one, something like that.
Okay. So what about different cultures of people or ethnic groups
Like
of
Native
people?
Americans,
Okay.
all of that and stuff.
Okay. Can you just explain that? So they move from their native land or their country, and
They move from Wampanoags and all of that and stuff, like tree barks, all of that.
Okay. Okay. Magda, can you go ahead and read before you read paragraph 2? Look at the subheading.
Okay.
Can you read the subheading first?
Sod dash the homesteader's treasure.
Go ahead and read.
The Shores settled on a claim in Nebraska. Since Nebraska was mostly treeless prairie land, it was impossible to build a wooden structure. But good cheap material was available. In fact, it was all around them. It was sod, the earth and grass beneath their feet. They used it to build a sod house or soddy. For most families on their prairie, building a soddy was the first thing they did. It kept the family safe and protected from the weather.
Okay, so what is sod? Can somebody raise their hand if you understand what sod is? What is sod? S-O-D. What is sod? Isaiah, what is sod? What do you, in your own words, what is sod?
Sod is a piece of grass connected to dirt and you connect it to a dirtless place or a place where there is no grass formed.
Have you ever used sod before, Isaiah?
Yes.
Can you explain when or give us an example when?
Yes. Back when we were fixing our mailbox, there was some dirt that was still left, and we needed sod in order to put the grass back in place. So we used that to make it look nice.
And one thing about sod, once you cut a piece of sod and put it on the dirt area that's grassless, and you water it, the dirt begins to really kind of emerge with that grassless area, and so it looks natural. Okay. Okay. Can you Isaiah? Can you read 3, please?
The first step was to find a flat section of land. Space was cleared of grass. Then it was smoothed out with a spade and packed down to make a hard earth floor.
Go ahead and read number 4, please, Isaiah.
It was important to use the right kind of grass for a sod house. Grass with dense roots held the soil together. Buffalo grass, wheat grass, and Indian grass worked well. Builders cut the sod into bricks, strips 18 inches wide by 24 inches long and 4 to 6 inches deep. Each brick weighed about 50 pounds. The average sod house required about 33,000 bricks and weighed almost 90 tons.
So can someone tell me, I want you to go back into, I think it's like number 2, what were they using sod for?
For treeless land.
Okay. What were they using to build? They using sod to build with? What were they using sod to build?
To protect the family and keep them safe.
Okay.
Soddy.
So look at paragraph 2, and look where they say, I think it's the 3rd line, towards the bottom. They used to build what?
A sod house or soddy.
Okay, keep going. For most families,
For most families on their prairie, building a soddy was the first thing they did. It kept the family safe and protected from the weather.
so they actually use sod to help build the house, build the roof and everything. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, turn over to the second page, the back page. Okay. So scaffolding, what I would like to explain was scaffolding. So as you look as you look at the at your title, those are called the subheadings. And so with the subheading, what we are doing today, we are going to find, so the information that we had just read, we're going to find the details from the text information for that subheading. So I would like for us to do the subheading for the first section. So we're on so you should be on the page that says find each main ideal. So we're going to find the main ideal for the subheading. And you may have to turn back to for side, the homesteader treasure. So can you write in the first subheading, you're going to write the side, the homesteader's treasure. So if you don't want to turn your page, it's right here, up here, side, the homesteader's treasure. Can you write that in the box that says subheading?
What is it again?
Okay, so it's right here. So instead of you guys flipping your papers back and forth, the homesteader's treasure. Can you please write that down, please? That is going to be your subheading. Now we're going to find the main idea. What are they saying in the text about the homesteader's treasure?
Making a sod house.
Okay. So now what I want you guys to do now, I want you to flip your papers back over and I want you to give me a main idea. What do you think the main idea should be for the subheading? Okay. So now you're going to look anywhere between 1, 2, 3, and 4. I really like to hear what you guys have to say before I jump in. What do you think the main idea is? And if you can find it in the paragraph, just read it out loud. Okay.
They used it to build a sod house or soddy. For most families on the prairie, building a soddy was the first thing they did. It kept the family safe and protected them from the weather.
Okay. Now what about you, Major? Did you find anything? Or what do you think? I'm trying to flip my paper over to chip as well.
Can we talk about like dance roots and soil and stuff?
Well, can you just read what you think it is? And then I will read the actual main ideal out loud.
It was important to use the right kind of grass for a sod house. Grass with dense roots helped the soil together. Buffalo grass, wheat grass, and Indian grass worked well. Builders cut the sod into the brick strips 18 inches wide by 24 inches long and 4 to 6 inches deep. Each brick weighed about 50 pounds. The average sod house required about 3,000 bricks and weighed almost 90 tons.
Okay, so let me tell you what the main ideal is, because sod was the homesteader's treasure. So I think it's in paragraph 2, where it says, when settling on a treeless land, people learn to adapt to the environment. What is a treeless land?
A large area of flat land with grass and few trees.
Okay, so you may have a couple of trees, but there's a few trees, but there's a large grassland. So the main ideal for the homestead treasure is actually, if you want to just write down, matter of fact, you can underline. You can underline where it says, since Nebraska was mostly treeless prairie land. It's at the top here. Prairie land. So people learn to adapt. People learn to adapt to that. Okay. So people learn to adapt. You want to just highlight it? Did y'all write it down? People will learn to adapt. So treeless lands, people will learn to adapt. A-D-A-P-T. Treeless lands, people will learn to adapt. Treeless lands, okay? And then we're gonna move on to the next section, where it says making a side house, walls, and roof. I can read that. As soon as you guys get done writing, I can read that. So now the next subheading is making a side house, walls, and roof. I'm going to read it out loud. So I'm going to model that section for you guys. So I want you to major and Joshua get done writing. I want you to follow along with me, because then there is going to be another, that's going to be the subhead, but we're going to pull out the main idea for that subhead. So the subheading we are reading now, at the bottom, paragraphs 5 and 6, making the side house, walls, and the roof. Once the site was prepped and ready, the jurists established the perimeter of the house. They laid 2 side-by-side rows of bricks, grass, side down, exposing the roots to the top. Allow 1 brick to grow into the layers of brick placed on top. After a few layers, the builders turned the next layers to lie horizontally instead of vertically. Anybody know what horizontally means? Joshua, which way is horizontally?
This way?
It's going this way.
Yeah, this way.
Which way is vertically? It's going up and down like the blinds.
Yeah, like.
That's why they call these blinds vertical blinds.
Yeah.
So that's vertically. So that's how they actually begin to lay on the side for the walls and the roof. And then it says this made the walls stronger. They used loose dirt and mud to fill in cracks between the bricks. Have you guys ever lived in a mud house?
Yeah.
How would you feel if you was part of that culture and you lived in a mud house? Would you be able to adapt to it if that was the only way you had to live? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, you would, because that's part of your culture. Okay.
Can I read number 6?
Read number 6, Major.
Can I read number 7?
Okay, when we get there, go ahead, Major. Read number 6.
As the walls grew higher, the builders positioned wooden frames where the windows and doors would go. They laid sod all around the frame. A gap was left at the top to allow room for the side to unsettle without crushing the glass in the window. Wooden pegs held the frames in place in the side walls.
Okay. Let's go back to our page where it says find each main idea. So what is the subheading?
Making a side house dash walls and roof.
Okay. So side is the dirt and grass beneath our feet. I wonder how this could be a treasure. So this was like a treasure to them. So go ahead on. I'll hold my page up so you guys don't have to flip it. So the title is Making a Side House, Walls and Roof. So you guys can look up here if you want to. Making a side house, walls and roof. Okay, so if you are done, you can put your pencils down on the table, and that lets me know we can move on. Thank you.
Are we on number 7?
Let's find the main idea because we're almost done. So, what do you think the main idea for the subtopic for making a side house, walls and roof? What do you think the main idea would be? So if sod is properly used, if it's properly used, could it be safe and secure?
No.
If it's used properly,
Yes.
you said yes, it can. Okay. Anybody else feel that way?
Yeah.
What about you, Isaiah?
Yes.
Okay. So right here, hold on, let me see. I'm sorry, you guys, hold on. I'm sorry, you know what? Let's go on to number 7. We forgot to read paragraph 7 and that goes with it. Turn it over. Let me just read that right quick.
I'm reading 7 through 11.
No, we're gonna read 7 because 7 goes with that paragraph. I forgot 7 is on the other page.
That was going to be 7.
Go ahead.
Once the walls were
Correct.
correct
Height.
usually about 8 feet, the builders place a wooden
Ridge pole.
pole across the
Yeah.
length of the house. This pole would help to support a roof. A sod house roof was sometimes made out of lumber, covered with
Shingles.
or
Tar paper. More often.
Often it simply was covered with thinner side roads.
Okay. What is a ridge pole, Major? Can you read that? Definition, please?
A horizontal timber along the top of a roof.
So, according to the information that you read in paragraph 7, do you think that where it says for the main ideal, making a side house and walls, roof, do you think it's going to be it's going to make that house when they build it, it's going to be safe and secure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm looking here, they have a ridge pole, a wooden ridge pole across the house that will support the roof. And so, what do you think we can write for the main ideal?
Across the length of the house? Yeah.
Can you read what you do you see anything that you would like to read that would be the main ideal?
This pole would help to support a roof. A side house roof was sometimes made out of lumber covered with shingles or tar paper.
Okay. So what would you say? What would you determine the main idea would be, Major?
The pole would help to support a roof.
Okay, very good. What about you, Isaiah?
The builders placed a wooden ridge pole across the length of the house.
Okay. And do you feel that it will secure the house as well?
Yes.
Okay, Joshua, what do you think your for number 7, what do you think the main ideal should be regarding this topic for making a side house, walls, and a roof? Do you think it's going to secure it with the ridge pole? How do you feel about that?
I feel good because it actually is going to work.
You think it's going to work? Okay, so a couple of you guys had came real close to in your main ideas was in your own word. So sod, when properly used, can be used to build a safe and secure home. So yes, all of you guys was correct. Okay, we are down to the last one, living in a society.
Can we first write the subheading down?
You can write the subheading down now.
Do we have to?
Yes. Living in a society. I'm going to read, and you can follow along with me. I'm going to read number 8. Sod houses were sturdy and fireproof. They were warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Above all, they were cheap to build. But what was it like to live in one? The roof often leaked. Nebraska sod contained sand, which made it easier for water to filter through. Can you imagine that, having a house built with mud and sand, and every time it rains, it kind of just run through the dirt, okay? And then it says, the side roof also held onto water. Even after a rainstorm was over, the soggy material would drip for days. If the ring post rotted, the entire roof might collapse inward. Who would like to read number 9? Go ahead, Major.
Snow often made its way into the house through the smallest crack. Many builders let the side walls settle for as long as 6 weeks before smoothing them and coating the inside walls with plaster. Sometimes the dwellers lined the walls with newspaper or fabric. The floors in the most side houses were simply packed dirt. Some families covered the ground with carpets. Families with more means built a floor of split logs or acquired wide wood planks from a sawmill.
Okay, Isaiah, you want to read 10?
Some women complained that nothing was ever clean in a sod house. Fleas, rats, mice, and snakes were a constant problem. Those creatures liked to live in the cracks between the bricks. Women learned to cook with lids on their pots to keep mud or worse from falling into the food. Beds had to go in the center of the room where they most likely to stay dry. After a long soaking rain, almost everything in a sod house had to be moved outside to dry in the sunshine.
Major, can you read 11? Go ahead, Joshua, read 11.
For all its hardships, life in a Saudi on the one
On the prairie.
prairie became a symbol. It represented an opportunity for people to own their own home and their own land as they build new lives in the West.
Okay. Last one. What do you think the main idea? I'm thinking about the mice and the rats and the snakes. Do you know why they were in and out the walls? They live in mud. I mean, or they live in mud, or they kind of like some snakes live in mud, and some rats live under the ground in the dirt. So yes, that's so.
I thought they live in like long grasses, so they blend into stuff, and when they slither and come to us and see us, so move the grass and stuff, and think that's a snake. I thought they live out.
Yeah, some snakes do live in the grassland and also in the mud. Okay, so now we just got to answer that the question. So the question here, living in a Saudi. What can you tell me? What you think the main idea of living in that Saudi?
Wait, on the side?
The Saudi was their house.
I think the main idea is side houses were sturdy and fireproof. They were warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Above all, they were cheap to build. But what it was like to live in one, the roof often leaked. Nebraska sod contained sand, which made it easier for water to filter through.
Okay, so can someone give me one sentence? The sentence I would like to pick is, it took a lot of work to adapt to life in a Saudi or a sod house. So you had to really adapt living like that in that environment. So what do you think? What would be the main idea in your own words, Isaiah?
Fleas, rats, mice, and snakes were a constant problem.
So to you,
I think so.
a side house for them is a problem. Okay. What about you, Major? If you want to wrap this up in one sentence, how do you feel about the main idea for living in a Saudi house?
I agree with Isaiah. Fleas, rats, mice, and snakes.
So to you, living in the side house was not good?
Yeah.
It was or it is?
Not really.
It's not.
No.
It's not good. Can you imagine a snake crawling up the wall? What about you? How do you feel about that?
I go with Isaiah because some snakes, if we have the door open and stuff, like rats, a lot of snakes, rats and stuff, and mice can come in our house, and then some snakes can be bit, bite us and stuff, and don't have to go to the hospital. And some mice and stuff can bite us too.
To bite, okay. So if you really actually looking at the main idea, all of you guys have some real good ideals, but the main ideal that they were looking at is that it took a lot of work to adapt to life. So they had to really adapt to life. So it took a lot of work to adapt to that type of life. It took a lot of work. And that is actually how they live. So if you noticed, they had to move things so it can dry out, and then they probably have to go back and rebuild. But that is actually their main idea. So, anybody have any questions? Okay, so this right here will end our lesson for this evening. Okay, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. Clap your hands.